this looking for this to be a light, cheery, fun-hearted video about the Toyota bZ4X and how much it sucks. But I accidentally dug so deep that I found something totally shocking. Toyota played you all, used you like a flashlight. So, a lot of people are whining, Toyota's not in the EV game. They hate, I've seen Reddit comments. Again, Reddit is one of the best places you can go for information. You know, it may be incorrect, but it's what people are actually thinking. It's also where you find the most EV nerds, that's what I like to call them, and they're like, does Toyota not care about the environment? Yes, Toyota 100% does, and that's why they're not going into EVs. So, if you don't know, the bZ4X is essentially, Toyota did the worst they possibly could. Number one, they made it start, cheaper than a Tesla, but it has terrible range. They called it the bZ4X, which means it has no other relation to any other model, instead of calling it the, a Prius EV or something. No, bZ4X. It's just they made it as hard as it can, number one, to find one, number two, to buy one, and number three, they made the specs so terrible you would never want to in the first place. They also gave it to Subaru as this Altera, so Subaru could also have an EV, even though Subaru is a much smaller company than Toyota and couldn't afford to develop their own. But what if I'm here to tell you that Toyota made an EV before any of your little shitty companies did? They made an EV before Tesla. They made an EV a year, not even a year, months after GM announced the EV one. They made it months after the EV one was even announced. That's right. Toyota isn't some, old fart who doesn't know about new technology. In fact, in 1997, that's when the GM EV1 came out. This is the first electric car, the first mass-produced electric car. As I said in my previous EV videos, it spawned the future for the rest of EV companies and proved yada, 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 yada. Toyota made an EV before GM did. This is the 1997 Toyota Rav4 EV. That's right, they made an EV version of the Rav4. It was almost just as good as the Rav4, and they actually sold it to the public, and they never bought it back. These are still on the road. Toyota made an EV when GM did. They're not behind. They were in the game before Tesla, before Honda, before any of these other damn companies are at all. And again, a lot of you people, again, I'm not trying to be too derogatory here to people who like EVs, but they just really are stupid. A lot of you people that like to whine about Toyota, why not Honda? It took Honda longer to make an EV. Why are you whining about, number one, if you already knew that Toyota made the RAV4 EV before GM did, why are you whining about them today? Number two, you're obviously intellectually smart enough to bring up sales figures, so you should know that EVs are not the answer and that most of our entire resources are based on non-renewable energy. And number two, you should know that Honda took longer to make a modern EV than Toyota did. They're just coming out with their first EV in America. It's just awful. The Honda, they imagined in better EV with AI. Those crappy EV AI ads? Ugh. Just absolute slop. The Honda Prologue. The Honda Prologue is just a rebadged DM. So, number one, credits to Toyota for developing their actual EV. Number two, credits for them to sharing that technology with Subaru, who desperately needed it, as they want to look climate friendly. And number three, it took Honda longer. So stop bitching at Toyota. Everyone just likes to hate on Toyota because that's the cars that people actually buy. These EV people know they're so terrified by Toyota because they know, A, unlike Honda, Toyota has never tried to move up market. Toyota is fine with being an affordable car brand. They love that. They're fine with that. They're so happy with that, right? Which scares the hell out of them because, if they don't try and move up market, they're going to win. They know that no matter how much they push EVs, no matter how many damn mandates they put out, people will never be able to afford EVs and they will never be the answer for millions of years until we, A, find a better battery, and B, turn our entire power grid system to renewables, which is, number one, never going to happen, I assume, climate change is going to eat us all by the time we can rip out every single coal, petroleum power plant. Yeah. and number three, just stop. So, believe it or not, they actually made this EV until 2014. In fact, the new RAV4 had already been out for 2 years at this point, and yet Toyota still had the RAV4 EV out. This thing, it didn't sell well, but Toyota didn't care, and in fact, I would buy one of these. Look, perfectly modern screen. Dual zone climate control with a screen. Everyone loves screens nowadays. and digital gauge cluster with the modern Toyota screen. Toyota put a lot of effort into the RAV4 EV, and no one really cared. All the EV people want to do is just whine and crap at Toyota, just because Toyota's like, they haven't gone all EV yet. They're gonna lose the race. There is no race. A race for being an idiot. The only race there is how fast you can lose your money to a car company. Again, the average EV costs less to make than the average SUV, and yet the prices are so much higher. Ugh, just so annoying. And then you have Tesla, right? Tesla. All they make is EVs. They have the ugliest interiors I have ever seen. They're hideous. They're not even functional. Also, I don't know, the little car dog thing in there? First of all, anyone that buys a Tesla, I don't trust them to have the responsibility to take care of a dog naturally, because they're all, like fetuses. But another thing, a dog, then make it dog friendly. The entire interior is made out of leather and scratchy things, At least Subaru has an actual durable interior. And number two, I'm just going to shout off numbers and then make points, and you just collect it all together in your brain, right? Number two, Toyota did replace the RAV4 EV. They 100% did. Number one, Toyota tried with EVs because they thought they could develop a solid-state battery, right? They thought they could do this. They thought they could make them renewable, and then they'll have it out in the meantime, gaining reliability and trust while they're working on the actual thing that would come out. And then they realized it's a losing man's game. A single car company can't change the mind of the entire United States government, or world governments for that matter, to make all of their grids at the same time, renewable at the same time that a recession will be hitting in, the 2020s. And number two, they realized EVs just aren't good, which is why they released the Mirai the same time. The Mirai is the answer. If you don't know, the Mirai runs on hydrogen, and the only byproduct from burning hydrogen is water. This was based off the Toyota Prius, as you can see. I'm sure it's no big secret. And yeah, you just fill it up with hydrogen. It's a gas. It's like, you may have seen the LPV conversions in Australia. It's kind of like that, except renewable, 100% renewable. We can make clean hydrogen, we can ship it, we can use that, and again, it's not some sort of radical thing, it's just pretty much your regular engine just converted to run on hydrogen, which isn't a lot of things. It functions kind of exactly like the Prius hybrid. Essentially, they use the hydrogen to spin the motor to be technically a generator for the EV system. So it is an EV, except instead of delivering raw power, you deliver hydrogen, which then gets split into, burning and then turning into water, and then spinning the engine, which then charges the batteries, which then makes the car go vroom vroom. That's kind of how it works. Clean hydrogen's been out forever, and this car is still out now. Now, there is I will warn you, there is a lawsuit going out now against Toyota. Again, a lot of people won't talk about this. They're just going to whine about, it's so amazing, we love them, right? But there is a lawsuit going out right now about the people that live in California suing Toyota for lying about the usability of the hydrogen vehicles. I kind of agree. I mean, there's not a lot of hydrogen stations out, but I don't blame Toyota. I blame all these stupid, ignorant EV car companies. I don't blame Toyota for this, right? Again, it's all these EV manufacturers. We want more chargers. We want more chargers. Toyota is the one in charge of making all the hydrogen stations. There's no Electrify America. There's no any of those putting hydrogen stations in. It's Toyota's job. And believe you me, putting hydrogen chargers in every single town and every single city across the United States is a lot harder than it sounds, Also, we can make perfectly clean hydrogen from renewable electricity, electrolyzer, storage, then whatever you need it for. Your aviation, your Avalon, your what's it called again? Your Mirai, doesn't matter. Also, again, proof here, again, an entire 79% of our power grid, right here, is not reliable. Not reliable. It's not renewable at all. None. Not renewable. Nothing's gonna change that, right? So yeah, that's it, right? That's why the thing sucks. That's why it's terrible compared to other EVs. Toyota doesn't want it to sell, right? They know this. Again, this is where Toyota really clowned you. So Toyota, they have a very wise CEO, right? Says Tesla and EV Council. Why is Toyota so anti-EV? Lost the race to compete, says Tesla. Of course Tesla and the EV Council are saying that. Come on, does this get any more blatant? Why is Toyota so anti-EV? Because it's not renewable, it doesn't work, and they know that. it lost the race to compete. There was no race to compete. It was just who can drain the customers out of the most money, which Toyota would never engage in, even though there's the new GR Corolla thing. Says Tesla and EV Council, which is laughable, because of course they would say that. Anyway, see all these vehicles. They never specifically said that all of them were EVs, but it was implied, right? They implied that these all would be EVs, right? He said, they're all modern looking. The grills are all hidden in all these, and you would think that all of these are going to be EVs, right? That's amazing, right? That's so great. But actually, that car right there, many of these cars, they were never EVs. In fact, that car back there, it's the CHR. Yeah, it's the all-new hybrid CHR that's going to Australia. It's not an EV. No, it's a hybrid. Toyota, it's so great. Like, again, they're so brilliant. They specifically never said that they were all EVs, but it was implied. They said, we're finally catching up, right? They made those statements, making you think that they would be rolling out EVs, and I was, of course, rolling my head and shaking my head. SMH. And then it turns out, no, they were just vehicles that they were going to put in other markets, and they just brought them all in this big room to make this press conference. Remember, when in the past has Toyota ever done this? Never. The only reason why they did this was to clown people for stop whining at them. A lot of chatter. Also, Toyota's working at solid-state batteries. You're going to find a lot of AI videos out there, like, Toyota's new water engine will kill Tesla. Yeah, the solid-state batteries are true, but it's going to take like 14 years to do it. A lot of chatter about Toyota solid-state drive doing pretty well compared to EVs. Yeah, no, hybrids are pretty, very much better to EVs. So, yeah, pretty much it. Yeah. So, yeah, they gave numbers. Batteries for 10,000 cars by 2030. I mean, they are just trying to, make batteries. I do believe this was a real project and not just some chatter, but at the same time, take everything you read for granted, right? So, with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's why the bZ4X sucks, because EVs suck in general. This is just Toyota kind of holding a mirror at people. You want some terrible garbage? We're just gonna throw that out. And again, no one talks about how reliable the bZ4X is. It's had almost zero recalls, almost zero problems since it's been out. It's one of the most reliable Toyota models ever. They still won't scam their customers, even when their customers hate the car.